G'day, beer swillers. I just wanted to comment about this article I've just read from, I think it was written by Tyrone Dalton from ABC Mildura Swan Hill and in Victoria, Australia. Ninth bottle shop proposed for Swan Hill as councils lose veto power. So the councils lost their power to decide whether a business starts up in the town. Well, that's the first point, isn't it? Now you know how it feels. So the decision is going to be made by higher ups that are further down in Melbourne. So there's I'll get to it in a second, but now you know how it feels when you don't have the decision in your hands about where you put a business. Suck eggs, local council. Have a taste of your own medicine. Victorian councils want to retain their power of veto over new liquor outlets in country towns amid fierce debate about the links between family violence and access to alcohol. I've said this before, violence is violence. But typical of these authoritarian governments, they put lines on maps everywhere and make everyone get photo ID before they can cross them, and box things and square things up, and make all their tick boxes. So this family violence, that's just violence, dickheads. In Swan Hill, a northern Victorian town ranked 5th in the state for family violence, mother and foster carer Beck Wolfe Charles, it's always a mother and a child pleading about something, is among those objecting to a proposed new bottle shop. She wants more play spaces in her neighbourhood where she can spend time with her daughter, Eloise, rather than another liquor store in town that already has 8. She worries the decision to approve the bottle shop has been taken out of local hands. From 1st of July, Liquor Council Victoria will take responsibility for liquor licence decisions, stripping local councils of the right to refuse planning permits. And this will go on as we move further towards the communism and socialism. The decisions will be made by the Politburo, and first it'll go from your local town to your nearest state city, capital city like Brisbane, and then it'll go to Canberra, and there'll be the liquor czar in Canberra, and he'll be there with 1 million applications a day to open more booze shops, and tick them off if he feels like it or whatever, or just get a bribe. It's pretty much how it happens now. So Swan Hill's local government area has a population of 21,000, and the I Can Smell a Dead Duck company has applied for planning permission to open the 9th liquor outlet in the town, a bottle shop in the former furniture store. 40 Winks Furniture Store has moved out of it. A spokesman for the Department of Justice and Community Safety said there was no cap on the number of liquor licences allowed in one town, and that Swan Hill residents will still have the opportunity to object the application when Liquor Control Victoria puts it on public notice. Swan Hill Rural City Council Mayor Stuart King said councils should have more rather than less control over new liquor store applications, and is concerned that city-based bureaucrats will not properly understand what the town needs. Absolutely for sure, mate. And that's what you do. You sit there and think that you know what the town needs and decide who can open what business where. And now you don't like it when you lose control of that. Well, tough titties, buddy. That's the way it goes, mate. It's your system just getting a bit bigger. Data from the Addiction Treatment Centre Turning Point showed that since 2018, paramedics have been called to about 2 alcohol-related incidents per week in Swan Hill, and alcohol was the most common drug found in intimate partner violence. Well, that could be true there. I mean, that probably is true. There's going to be partner violence. Here we go, partner violence. It's fucking violence. But couples are going to fight more when they're struggling. It's always the case. when there's arguments to be had, it's if no one's doing the wrong thing, then it's about money. And the poorer they get on this debt slave treadmill, the more there's going to be trouble. And we all know when you add alcohol to that, it gets worse. But the idea that you can now you can restrict one bottle shop from opening, and that's going to make a difference. I mean, the whole country is littered, is awash with bottle shops. And as times get worse, more people will drink, unfortunately. And it's funny, isn't it? It's a bit like the tobacco industry we've got now, where they've put the prices, the taxes on it. 90% of your packet of cigarettes is tax, which opens up a free market. People want a free market. They want to buy it cheaper. They know that it's because it's tax. The criminals have, the organised crime's taken over all the tobacconist shops, so they can sell their overseas chop under the counter for a fraction of the cost of the local stuff, or the stuff that's branded. There's no local stuff. They stop people from actually growing tobacco in this country, or in this state anyway, in Queensland. I don't know about the rest of the country. I don't think there's any tobacco grown in Australia nowadays. Because, anyway, back to this alcohol. There's alcohol outlets all over Australia, everywhere. You can drive in and buy yourself enough alcohol to give yourself a brain bleed and die tonight, if you want to. And special people have licenses to distribute it. And, have you ever been to a dope party? They don't punch on at dope parties. People smoking cannabis. They go to sleep. They smile a bit. And they go to sleep. Unless they mix it with alcohol, then they have problems. You ever been to a heroin party? Ain't too many people punching on there either. So maybe they could swap out some of these bottle shops for dope shops. And then, the paramedics will be getting called to people's houses because they've fallen asleep. Or they've, spent the night making love. That's where you find your fights and your dramas and your violence, outside the pub. Not outside the dope smoker's house. Now, I'm not an advocate for smoking dope, but you can easily see the difference. It's only the truth. And I'm not saying we have to replace all the bottle shops with dope shops, because people can do what they want. It's their problem. The only reason that all this, there's just so many bureaucrats. Everything's just so government run. The ambulance service is government run too. The taxpayers on the foot in the bill for that, bloated monopoly. Now, there should be competing ambulance services all over the country that you pay a subscription to every year. And a general lack of taxes, or none. Taxes theft. So this is society, or someone in society, calling for some sort of control to stop the 9th bottle shop opening in the town. That the people that want to open the bottle shop, they obviously have done a bit of research and realise there's going to be more demand in the future. And maybe they're wrong too. But it's fitting, isn't it? Well, it's a bit like it's the way of the world now. You got your furniture shops closed down, and that'll be generally the inflation making things more expensive, and taxes, and easy credit. The furniture shops popped up in easy credit because you could watch your house go up by $100,000, and you could run out and borrow against it and buy some furniture, or buy a new Land Cruiser or whatever it was, So when the credit dries up, and or the inflation catches up, after that house goes up by $100,000 because there's more and more credit being issued for properties, and people go out and use that to buy furniture and a Land Cruiser and a holiday, that that eventually that house price rise leaks into the average economy and makes everything more expensive. So it's all good fun when your house is going up. It's not so much good fun when your car's going up and your lettuces are going up and your tomatoes are going up. Not that much fun then when it leaks into there. It's fun at the start, So your furniture shop, people are tapped out. They can't buy the furniture anymore. They get depressed. They want to drink. And I'm an alcoholic that doesn't drink. I haven't had a drink for 20 years. Right? I choose not to drink because and most people that want to get somewhere in life need to usually have to stop or curtail their drinking a lot. Like when Bob Hawke became Prime Minister, he gave up the grog. He said, I can't run the country and be a pisshead as well. Donald Trump doesn't drink. He's more interested in doing other stuff. And a lot of, if you're at elite sports level or whatever elite level, selling real estate or whatever, you're giving out bottles of champagne, but you don't drink too much yourself. You try not to anyway. Well, some people can do it. Some people can have a little bit and they'll be okay. But that's too much rambling on about that. But I just thought it was quite fitting that this council's screaming that they can't make a decision now because it's taken out of their hands and what have you. So it says here a fortnight out from the change, the head of the Municipal Association of Victoria said there was no clarity on how this major impact would affect local government. This is about, we will no longer be the people that determine whether the planning application is appropriate or not, MAV President Jennifer Anderson said. Additionally, liquor store applications have a floor space of at least 750 square metres trigger a community impact assessment, the spokesman said. Now that's a typical example of let's draw a square on a piece of paper and make a rule and all this sort of rubbish, Who gets to this 750 square metres, The Politburo. That's who. You're living in communist bloody Russia. And Russia, that's a different story. Russia definitely not really communist now. They're more fascist, but less fascist than Australia. At 628 square metres, the proposed Swan Hill bottle shop does not need a formal harm assessment to be done. There you go. It came in under the 750 square metres, so that's that. That's your bureaucrat. The harm assessment policies were tested last year when Victoria Liquor Commission backed Hepburn Shire Council's decision to deny an application by Endeavour Group to place a Dan Murphy's bottle shop near a school. Endeavour Group is contesting the decision that the Victorian Civil and Administration Tribunal. Swan Hill independent bottle shop owner John Charlson said the assessment criteria did not work if a town comprises of one main street because a 500-metre radius was applied. If the application for a licence is at the end of a CBD, for instance, as Swan Hill has a long, skinny CBD town, it doesn't really cover it, Mr. Charlson said. So the square meterage of a circle, basically, a 500-metre radius in our town, really should be put into context and taken in a long rectangular view. So they've made a rule that it can't be more than closer than 500 metres from another one. Thinking whoever made the rule that they're in the middle of a CBD, like a major CBD with a main street and then a sort of a secondary main street and a third and a big grid. And he's right, like the town's long and skinny, but no one thought of that. So now we want to, change the rule because it doesn't bloody work. And a lot of you that have ever dealt with bureaucracy, sometimes it works in your favour so well. You just go, you idiots. That's your rule. That's not going to affect me because we're a different shape to what you thought, you know? What a joke. What an absolute joke this country is now. Not the country, not the people, but the people that we are still, unfortunately, letting run things. So, here. Let the council lose its power to decide who goes where. And let it go to another god in another city. Suck eggs, council. See you on the next one, guys.